Is live. We are ready. Why are people texting me? I got a show. God damn it. Exit all this bullshit. Exit all that bullshit right there. All right. We got our little intro screen going. Still can't tell if there's actual sound coming through for you guys or not. Music or whatever. There's supposed to be music. Maybe there's no music. Let me try this. Let's try that. Is that music? Is that playing? Anybody here? Anybody hanging out? Try this. Oh, no. Mute. Try that. Is there music happening? Open up one more Facebook window. We're just warming up here. We're just letting people tumble on in. Nope, Aram, you are not first. Tell Brian is first. I'm glad the party can start now, though. Do you guys hear any music? Is there music happening at all? There should be music. What's up, Ian? No music. All right. I really got to figure out how to get this music to work, man. This aggression will not stand, man. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over. Switch on over to the real party here. What's going on, everybody? Last warrior of Unigaea. I don't think it's Twitch's fault. It's because I don't know how to use this application properly. That's the real problem. I have music set up. It looks like it's supposed to be playing, but it's just not playing. It's just not. I don't know. Kind of makes me want to cry a little bit, you know. I'm not going to because I'm a man, but it's upsetting. What may be your internet connection? It's not the music isn't that's not it. Anyway, thanks for coming, guys. This is Sound Booth Theater Live, and today we're gonna be previewing some of Harmon Cooper's latest release. Came out Friday, The Last Warrior of Unigaea. I'm really fucking excited for this release because this is the first one. If you look up here, you'll see the Sound Booth Theater label. That's my company. And this is the first one I've done with a guest performer, with another narrator. Well, actually, she's not even a narrator. She's a singer-songwriter, Annie Ellicott. I've been a fan of hers for like 10 years. She's from Tulsa, and she comes and sings in Kansas City quite often, actually. She sings with a band called Snuff Jazz, which I love them. They're just a completely crazy free jazz avant-garde type of outfit, and but I mean, in that group, she's crazy. You know, she fits right in, and she just goes nuts, and she's very enthusiastic with the weird discordant stuff, but then she'll also do really nice jazz standards, and her voice is just amazing. She writes her own stuff. Oh, Harmon's here already, our lovely author. Um, the book, yeah, he's saying the Kindle book drops at midnight. It is already available on Audible, but you can go put in the pre-order for his book now. Okay, so why did you decide to start a company, and exactly what does that do for you? Well, number one, it's just it's kind of a status thing. Um, but number two, I want to make the brand recognizable, and I want to be able to produce other narrators. So, so what? I've actually set up a job coming up for a lovely Miss Andrea Parsnow. Parsnow. I always forget how to pronounce that EAU. Parsnow. Parsnow. Andrea. I think it's Parsnow. Or Soilo. Parsnow. Oh my God. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I don't know why I can't keep it in my brain. Um, but she's such a great narrator, and she's going to be taking over for a series that I've already started. I don't know if you guys know about it, but I narrated this series called The Witch's Path by Annie Connolly, and it's a majority female narration, and that's where I got a lot of practice with my female voice, narrating 3 entire books. I mean, like 85% of each of those books is female narration. And the third book we released 2 years ago on Audible, and they haven't really been moving since then. I mean, they start like the first book moved some, and then the second book moved a little, and then the third book just kind of didn't move. But I thought that maybe it's because I'm a male narrator, and people look at that and they go, "What?" and they just skip over it. So, so what we're gonna do for book 4 is I'm gonna have Andrea come and replace me as Michelle, the main character of the book, but I'm still gonna be doing the rest of the voices, basically, of all the male characters. So both of our names are gonna be on the bill, and Sound Booth Theater is, and for from now on, I'm going to be producing more and more other narrators and putting them under this Sound Booth Theater label so that it connects all of us, marketing-wise. Another thing that my company is going to be doing that other companies don't do is mixing the dialogue. So, like, for instance, if you listen to some romance novels where they have dual narration, there will be, one chapter it's narrated by the female narrator, and one chapter it's narrated by the male narrator. And they do that because it's so much easier to edit together. Like, so even in the chapter narrated by the female, she's still going to speak the male's lines, right? We won't do it that way. We're going to actually keep the voices consistent and edit the dialogue together. So yes, it's going to be more expensive to do that. It's more labor intensive, but Sound Booth Theater is going to establish itself as a brand that means quality, a brand that means that we only pick up the best talent, in my opinion. And Andrea Parsnow. I'm sorry, Andrea, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I think she is definitely qualifies as that. I mean, if you have listened to, she's only got 4 audiobooks out there, but 2 of them are already killing it. Dominion of Blades, Dominion of Blades, that killed it when it came out. Her ratings are awesome. Wild Wastes is still killing it, and I don't know if maybe both of them are still killing it, but her ratings are like 4.8, 4.9 for both of those books, and deservedly so. I mean, she's just so natural at it. So yeah, I'm really excited to get her on the Sound Booth Theater label. So for this book, The Last Warrior of Unigaea, Annie just did character voices, for just one character voice for Sam Raid, and she kind of pops up in the end of the book. But in the next 2 books, she's she's going to have way more roles. Not well, I don't know. I haven't asked her about doing more roles, but she's going to have more lines as Sam Raid. So I'll talk to her. We'll see if she can do some more female characters. We want to expand her range. I want to help. I want to help other narrators who are just starting out learn how to do character voices more and flex a little bit more and explore range. I think that's Deathdale. I did her voice in Last Warrior of Unigaea, but there was one sentence. So Harmon, if you want Deathdale to be done by Annie as well, I'm sure she'd be fine with it. Just let me know. I'll run it by her too. So that's what's happening. Sound Booth Theater is tomorrow. The LLC will be officially set up. I'm hoping to go approach Audible and see if we can work out some kind of contract between us instead of working through ACX. It's just a bigger step, It's a way to establish myself a little bit wider. Sin, you missed it. It's just business talk. You know all about this stuff anyway. Oh, Brian, by the way, Jeff, how did you get started with different voices? Just watching shows and mimicking? I suppose so. All my life, I've been fascinated with sound. Before I started doing this, I was a musician. I guess I still am a musician. I'm a very poorly practiced musician at this point. But music was my passion for a very long. It still is. I've kind of let it go to the wayside. But that's what I care about the most. Sound fascinates me, and so even as a little kid, like when I would hear commercials on the radio or watch cartoons or anything, I would try and parrot that stuff. Even just sounds, even birds and animals and stuff. I would try to mimic it just for fun, just because I was fascinated with the sounds and fascinated with my own instrument, that is my voice. I never really had aspirations to do voice work, though, until about 5 years ago. I was losing my job, and I didn't want a real job, so I got online. I already had all this sound equipment, right, from doing music. But I went online to look for stuff to do, and one day my friend Josh, he sent me this application, or I don't know, it was a link to some radio job here in Kansas City. So it's like, I don't know, I'll try that out, and I sent them an email. I got my resume together, and I never heard back from them. But then that got me thinking, well, I can do this. And so I found voices.com, which is a place where you can basically audition for all sorts of different types of jobs, web commercials, audiobooks, radio commercials, animation, video games. And so I was on there for a while. I was doing about 300 auditions per week. And while I was doing it, I was doing it exactly how they tell you not to do it. What they tell you to do is to find out what your strength is and then apply for those jobs. What I did instead was applied for everything I could fucking find and tried my best to fit my voice to that. So, I don't know how many months I spent on voices.com, probably 3 or 4 months, auditioning like 300 different jobs a week, landing 1 to 2 jobs per week, just barely scraping by. But all those different auditions, even though really I was only landing the jobs where my natural voice really was what I was using, I was still trying as hard as I could to get those other jobs that I knew I wasn't going to get anyway. And so that's what got my range started, I guess. That's how I got into that mentality. And then when I finally landed an audiobook job that paid really well, by the way, um, I found that I absolutely loved doing it because if you compare audiobook work to commercial work or animation work, the amount of audio you actually deliver um, in proportion to how much you get paid is way better in like, well, no, in audiobooks it's way worse. That's what I'm saying. Is like you have to with an audiobook you're delivering, you know, 6 to 10 to 20 hours of audio, whereas with a commercial you're delivering like 30 seconds. And with that commercial you're going to get paid like $300 to $500. With the audiobook you're going to get paid, at least starting off, more like $1,500 to $2,000. So the difference between how much work you're actually doing for the pay and what what actually happens is just it's astronomical. And so most of the really good voiceover people just stay out of audiobooks and they go for commercials, right? They go for animation. Understandable. But at the level I was at, it was much easier to land jobs in the audiobook world because people weren't competing for them as much. Like there would be 30 people going for an audiobook job, whereas every other commercial or animation job had 150, 200 people auditioning. So all of that work was getting wasted. All of that auditioning. Yeah, I mean, when I landed a job, it was really easy and I got good money for what I did, but all of the rest of the auditions that I did was just wasted work. That was all auditions that just go nowhere. Whereas with audiobooks, you only have to do so many auditions before you land a job, and then throughout the whole job, you've got all this work to show for it that's getting published, that's getting heard, and you get to be the narrator, right? The director, you get to be the whole cast. You're basically running a whole project and using your imagination for all of that. Whereas with a commercial, you're like one character, you're selling one product. I'm not into it. So I don't know. It was easy for me to go, man. Screw this. I'm going. I'm going audiobooks, and the rest is history, man. So anyway, let me drink some more water. And I have to ask, does anybody want a free Last Warrior of Unigaea audiobook? I mean, if you do, you gotta say something in the Twitch chat. And Harmon, you should keep track of those people so that I can give it to them at the end of the show. But I'm really excited for this one, guys. I get to play with my voice actor Connor, from Connor Knight from the Ghosts and Magic series. I don't know if you guys have already. You already had 2 takers. Awesome. So I don't know if you guys have already listened to my MR Forbes series Ghosts and Magic, but Connor is the dude who narrates all of that stuff. And so I picked that voice. Harmon liked him. So that's who I went with for our man Auric Rune here, shown mounted on his trusty sidekick Wolf. And yeah, so here goes. I'm going to start narrating some stuff from this one. I think we're going to spend 45 minutes to an hour on this. And let's see, where should I start? Should I start at chapter 1? What about Wolf's voice? Well, there were no quotes from Wolf, dude. I actually considered doing his voice throughout, but it would have been, I don't know. I considered doing it, but it would have been a lot of extra work. Maybe book 2. Maybe book 2 will mess with that. All right, so I'm going to start with chapter 1. And then Harmon, while I'm doing chapter 1, she's 50 pounds. Maybe I would drop her like 3 steps. I'm going to start reading chapter 1. And then you figure out the next spot you want me to read. And then when I'm done with chapter 1, you tell me. I've been thinking about turning this into a drinking stream. Let me know what you guys think of that. Because I really do enjoy like drinking and narrating with you guys hanging out. I kind of like to encourage other people to drink alcohol and be terrible people. Sorry. Okay, here goes. Oh, by the way, the Motherfickers, go pick up some t-shirts from harmoncooper.com. This is from the Fantasy Online Hyperborea. This is the guild, and yeah, it's about as metal as any t-shirt's gonna get. So, chapter 1. Cliffhanger. A small pebble bounces down into the valley. I look up at the ledge to see my muscles bulge, my vein pulsing with blood. Digital life force. Sorry, guys. I forgot I wanted to put up my Facebook stream so I can see there if anyone's commenting here. Am I saying it wrong? Mitherficker? Didn't I say Mitherfickers? Okay. Okay. I look up at the ledge to see my muscles bulge, my vein pulsing with blood. Digital life force. There's a slight chill in the air, but my body is warm from exertion. I've been hanging on the side of this cliff for 20 minutes now, waiting for my prey to walk along the mountain pass. The things you can do in an online world. My vision pane flashes and a couple pebbles skip past me. I originally came to the Farthing Mountains to look for sunset routes so I could craft a few potions. I found one, but then I saw the orcs coming and figured at least one had to be a player character. If I'm lucky, 2. Fickers? Yeah, okay. My grip loosens, and I dig my fingers in tighter. Don't look down, I remind myself. I still need to assign the attribute points from my last level up, 3 points to be exact, and as I hang, I use the interface to transfer all 3 points into strength. My muscles expand, and my chest plate made of solid as steel tightens. I feel myself get a little heavier, stronger and more aggressive. My character sheet appears. Auric Rune. Class, Level 8 Player Killer. Subclass, Level 3 Herbalist. Infamy, 38 players killed. HP, 869 out of 869. HP recovery rate, 2% per minute. Attack, 133, plus 51. Defense, 114, plus 30. Attributes: Strength, 10. Will, 4. Dexterity, 7. Mind, 4. Speed, 5. I hear voices and mentally swipe away the interface. There will be time to pat myself on the back later. Oh, I keep forgetting to advertise in the Feetwix voice. All right, everybody, The Last Warrior of Unigaea is now available on audible.com. Go to amazon.com to pre-order the Kindle version right now. Here they come. The 3 orcs chortle as they make their way around the bend. They're merchants, hopefully player characters, and if I'm ever going to get some loot and attribute points the old-fashioned way, it'll be by killing these three. I tighten my grip on the ledge, pull my knees up, and press the balls of my feet into the rock face. The red outlines of their bodies appear on my vision pane, even though I can't officially see them yet. If I time it just right... Almost there. Now! I latch onto the cliff's edge and do something I would never be able to do in real life. Bounce my feet off the rock face and use all my power to backflip up to the mountainside pass. Hey! I grab the first orc by the front of his chest plate and toss the slack-jawed bastard off the escarpment. Insta-kill! +1 infamy! A player character. Yes! That was awfully close to a high-pitched Cartman voice. I don't know about that. Well, Last War of Unigaea by Harmon Cooper was just released. My sword comes out, as do the swords of the two other orc merchants. Their levels and anonymous handles appear next to their names. 2 level 7s? Damn. You're going to pay for that, the first orc seethes. A green icon over his head flashes. An NPC. The other has a blue icon. Another player character. Hell yes. Some good that shitty sword will do, he screams. I grin at him. If you only knew. All avatars start in Unigaea with a legendary weapon that needs upgrading. This diamond-in-the-rough approach gives new players something to immediately see to. Either sell the weapon for instant funds, or get it repaired and reforged. Hell, some even learn to reforge it themselves. I've done neither. I turn my sword over in my hand, waiting for one of the orcs to come forward. My legendary weapon was once a full-fledged buster sword, but the blade has since splintered into 3 distinct peaks. Up there. Wait, I have to look at myself in the... You see it? You see it? Okay. Distinct points. Where to go? It's still large, about as long as a skateboard, and sharp as hell, too. But the blade's odd form has taken many an enemy off guard. Much to my advantage. You're dead! The NPC orc charges me and brings his smaller sword up to meet mine. Our weapons clink together and I quickly overpower him, using my leg to sweep his feet out from beneath him. The other orc merchant attacks as his counterpart rolls away, spraying dust into the air on his approach. I'll kill you! The player character shouts. He's much better with his sword than the NPC. Still, I manage to get in a brushing swipe that connects with his shoulder. Minus 145 HP. Peaks. Peaks? Points? Yeah, it says peaks in the text. Thick ichor spritzes from his wound. He screams like a sissy and disappears in a flash. I stupidly turn to figure out where he went, and my vision pane flashes. A rogue orc? While my armor protects me from the NPC orc's stab, I do receive some blunt damage. The other orc comes in for another swing. His blade lands perfectly in one of the valleys of my splintered sword. This was why I hadn't had my buster sword reforged. The NPC orc growls, presses his weight forward, seethes, and tries to free his sword from the groove in my blade. I twist my wrist and grin at my unsightly assailant. He pushes his weight forward again, and I reward his efforts with a boot to the chest that sends him straight to the ground. I come down hard with my 3-pronged splintered sword, tearing through his cheap leather armor and piercing his lung. I twist the blade. He cries out in pain, and I yank it out, arcing the air with blood. Minus 286 HP. Insta-kill! I take a step back to catch my breath. Wham! The next sound I hear is my body hitting the ground. Okay. So that's the only bit of chapter 1 I'm going to do. I want to skip around quite a bit. because we're just giving you little tastes. How about we do the part where he meets the mercenaries? All right, I'm going to start from the end of Chapter 4 and just kind of blend into Chapter 5. Oh, Chapter 6, Rare Class. Okay, yeah, let's do that. What? Yeah, because I kind of want to do the voice of the big fat guy that hires the mercenaries. What do you think, Harmon? Okay. This is recorded for later listening. I will have to remember to post the last one and this one on YouTube myself. Because, oh, by the way, I forgot to address this, guys. Sorry, but YouTube still hasn't gotten back to me about my appeal for the content strike on my channel. I still don't know what the hell's going on with that. Hopefully they will at least answer me and tell me what I did wrong so I can just not do that anymore, whatever it is. But yeah, it's been a week now. I think wasn't it Sunday or was it Wednesday? No, it was Wednesday when they struck. So yeah, it's been 5 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. 5 days. Haven't heard back from YouTube about my appeal. So I don't know. I was thinking about, integrating everything into the YouTube channel instead of scattering it and just, still broadcast to Twitch but not have the chat in Twitch, because a lot of people they're just not into Twitch, and I can understand why, because they run a lot of ads even through the streams. And it's just not as common for people to mess with as YouTube. YouTube is like the universal thing, and I don't know, everyone seems to do chat more often there. So I was going to switch over to that, and now I can't. So I guess keep watching, keep for the update on that. I don't know what to do about it, really. I'll keep putting the replays up, but I don't know. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna hit the end of Chapter 4 here. The two mercenaries joining me on the quest stick out like a pair of sore thumbs. One female player killer is in black leather armor formed to look like an A-line dress. Her boots have sharp heels, and she wears absolutely no other armor, aside from a pair of black gloves. A sliver of skin is visible over a small portion of her chest, and her face and arms are bleached white. A blinding white, even. Her hair is gray, the color of brittle bone. On her right eye is a patch that matches the general look of her armor. Her whole get-up seems impractical. But then again, I've come to expect that type of thing in a fantasy world like Unigaea. Her handle appears, her subclass still a mystery to me. More scenarios. Deathdale, level 10. Next to her, chomping down on an apple, is a muscular guy in chainmail made to look like a tank top, silver tassets, and knee-high fur boots with enough buckles to outfit all the mall Santas in Chicago. Swirling Unigaean tattoos cover his arms, and multiple piercings line his ears. The written Unigaean language, which resembles Thai, is technically a dead language. Scholars can read it, and noob players love to get tattoos of it, but I've yet to encounter anyone in Unigaea who speaks it fluently or uses it daily. Check me out. CZECHMEYOUT. Level 18. Mercenaries. He's definitely an archer, evident in the multi-fire crossbow on his back and the two shorter crossbows at his side. He's also most definitely a douche, evident in his less-than-clever handle, his tank top, and his Unigaean tattoos. I stop and glance down at Wolf. He looks up at me, and I swear in that moment he winks. "Let's get this over with," I tell him. "I'm Auric," I tell the two mercenaries. "Auric Rune."
"And your class?" the archer asks.
"Herbalist."
"Aren't you forgetting the player-killer part? Odd combination. Me? I'm an archer, subclass of scout. Call me Check," the archer says, snapping his finger at the mention of his name. "Me out." Ha! Get it?
Check me out. I get it. And it's not clever, I think.
"A player killer, huh?"
He gives me a toothy grin.
"I'd better keep my eye on you. Good thing I'm 10 levels ahead."
Another disadvantage of being a player killer: my handle is rimmed in red. Anyone that sees or greets me knows instantly what I am. He nods at the silent mage.
"Her handle reads Deathdale, but that's all I know about her. That, and she's a fan of pirates." Because she has an eye patch. She's also a player killer. Likely a mage subclass of sorts. Boy, did I end up in a potentially sticky situation. Luckily, I could easily take you both out.
I grind my teeth as I stare the boisterous archer down. The Lyra, Auric. That's why you're doing this. I take a deep breath to calm my nerves.
"That's some big dog you have there, Auric," he says.
"It's a wolf, which happens to also be his name. Wolf Ruffian."
"You named him that?"
he asks, an eyebrow raised at me. "He's a Tagvornan wolf, and he can get pretty rough. The name fit. No more questions. Is there something in particular we're waiting for?" Deathdale takes a few steps away from us, her heels clacking on the cobblestone. She holds her nose high, as if she's trying to look over the sun.
"I couldn't tell you what's up with this one. She's been here all of 30 minutes without saying a word to me. Believe me, I fucking tried to break through to her. Hell, I even did a little magic trick I learned as my last avatar. She wasn't buying it."
"Maybe you annoyed her."
"Hey, what are you trying to say?"
He puffs his chest out and places a single hand on the crossbow pistol holstered at his side. I've dealt with his type before. A braggart who just so happens to be at a level that makes him dangerous to the general public. Firearms aren't allowed in Unigaea. Players can't craft them, nor can anyone equip one from a shared inventory list from another world. Of course, players have figured ways around this, and one of these ways is the crossbow pistol, which functions almost exactly like a firearm but with bolts instead of bullets. The other is a fireworks shooting weapon that looks suspiciously like a sawed-off shotgun. Check and I stare each other down for a moment. I am male, and dick-measuring contests seem to be a prerequisite for being a male playing a male character in an online game.
Excuse me.
I don't know why this is, but I play my part by not looking away. The door to the city council building kicks open, ending our little standoff. Two soldiers clad in shogun-like armor step out, and the first calls down to us.
You may join us inside. The wolf will wait outside.
I hear Wolf start to growl. Easy, I tell him as I place my hand on his snout. I'll just be a moment. He looks up at me with his big puppy dog eyes. Just relax. Lay down or something. Czech laughs. Whether at me or something else, I can't tell. He's the first to take the stone stairs up into the council building, followed by Deathdale. The muted woman walks in a very calculated way, as if she's auditioning to be a runway model. She represents both the beauty and the problem of online fantasy worlds. Anyone can be anything. They can take on any persona, they can wear whatever they'd like, and they can behave in ways that go against their particular set of beliefs, their culture, or their better judgment. By the looks of her dress-shaped black leather armor, she's some sort of mage. No leg armor? This is something only someone with enough magic to keep an enemy at bay would spring for. I could say that better. This is something only someone with enough magic to keep an enemy at bay would spring for. As we enter the council hall, I nearly trip over my own feet. I'm so focused on the mysterious player killer known as Deathdale. 10 Ingot City council members sit behind raised desks at the far end of the room. They wear purple robes with long collars adorned with an intricate gold pattern. The council is a mixture of NPCs, player characters, and even a few reborn player characters, or RPCs, which is the term given to people who have died in the real world and registered to have all their life chip information transferred to an avatar.
Ah, they have arrived.
The robust, bearded council leader instructs us to come before him. He waits until the great doors of the hall are shut to continue speaking.
I trust that you three know why you are here?
I nod, as does Czech. Deathdale says nothing.
Good. Then I won't waste your time rehashing why it is we have put out this bounty.
He coughs, pounds his chest for a moment, and clears his throat. His neck fat hangs over the front of his popped collar in a way that looks as if he may choke. His eyes are bloodshot, his face the color of tomato puree.
You can count on us,
Czech says, smiling proudly at the man. I'm opening the door. It's a little bit hot in here. I'm not even recording, so I'll just leave it open. The leader scowls.
The day I trust a mercenary will be a strange day indeed. That said, your services are needed, and you will be paid handsomely for your troubles. So I tend to agree with you then. I can count on you. That is, until I pay you.
2 heavily armored soldiers carry a chest out to a smaller table behind us. They set it down, and I hear the clank of lyra. We're each given a bag that contains at least 1,000 lyra.
This is a down payment for your services,
says the head councilman.
The rest will be given to you when you bring Drake Farmrot, the governor of Ryle Resort Town, to us. If he dies, you get none of the money. If you alert the town in any way, you will still get a portion of the money, but it will be considerably less than the original amount.
10,000 lyra, Czech says, licking his lips. He looks to Deathdale for confirmation, and the odd woman gives him none. 10,000 lyra. I too salivate a bit at this number. With this amount, I'll be able to upgrade my gear, which will bring me one step closer to killing the guild of player killers who destroyed the village I founded.
We will know if you alert the town.
The leader coughs again, rubs his hand on his heart, and returns his glassy gaze to us.
We have scouts there now, and they will get word to us before you return. Because of this final stipulation, we will not pay you the final bounty until 24 hours after you've returned. That said, during this time in the city, you will be treated to whatever and whomever you'd like. He smiles at the three of us. Whatever or whomever that may be.
Got it, I tell him. I'm assuming you have transportation arranged for us?
We do.
Is it big enough to carry a Tagvornan wolf? He looks to one of the purple-robed councilwomen. She calls her assistant over. They speak in hushed tones for a moment, and she finally nods at the leader.
It is now. You will find the raft at the port, in the section designed for 10 Ingot City government employees.
Good! Chet claps his hands together. Enough of the formalities! Let's do this! The archer spins on his heels.
Alive!
The lead council member calls after him.
Bring Drake Farmrot back alive!
Quest update. You have agreed to capture the governor of Ryle Resort Town on the northern coast of Unigaea. You have been paid a down payment to bring Drake Farmrot back alive. If you alert the town authorities, the bounty paid will be lowered. If you kill the governor or he dies in another way, you will not receive payment aside from the 1,000 Lyra stipend. Which voice are you talking about? What are you talking about?
The bro? All right. Let's do this.
I love doing Check Me Out. To hear more of that voice, check out On the Hit List by Timothy Dalton. There's a character named Chester in that book who totally steals the show, and that's where I got the most practice with this voice. I never used it before then, and I haven't used it since. But yeah. Okay, so what's next? Harmon, you got any other ideas for what's next? I actually like the fat guy. I actually like the fat guy voice I was doing.
Solar mages are an extremely rare, randomly generated class.
No, that's not his name in the book. Harmon, you are exaggerating. You are sullying the name of Chester. What else can we do here? Look at the... What's up, Arc Darkwind? What about Scarcheek and Walrus? Scarcheek and Walrus, man. Is that too spoilery? This is it's a pretty cool action scene. Chapter 16. Yep. All right, I'll just start at the beginning of chapter 16. We run right into run right into Walrus Man and Scarcheek. So it takes us about an hour to reach the coastline. We take the main path this time, which is much faster, and luckily for us, we don't stumble upon any enemies. It's a good thing, too. I don't know how well I'd be able to defend myself with only my hands, even with Wolf around. So at some point he loses all of his weapons. That's why he's saying that. At least I could have attempted to strip an enemy of their weapon, I think, as we circle around a pile of prayer rocks. The NPCs and some RPCs practice a very Wiccan religion in Unigaea. In most of the main paths, one will encounter these pile of rocks, the crevices of which are stuffed with colored parchment. The parchment have handwritten prayers on them. Wishes, really. And it is said that if one circles the prayer rock 3 times and places their parchment in the right space, their prayer will come true. If your prayer doesn't come true, you put your parchment in the wrong space. I shake my head as we circle around. Damn superstitions. Wolf trots along the coastline, staying as far back from the water as I'll let him. You're going to have to get used to the water. He whines a little, and I pat him on the head. Fine. I'll quit teasing you. We continue along the waterline for a bit until we come across a pair of fishermen enjoying their dinner, crouched around a campfire. A boiling pot of something smelly makes me want to hold my nose as we approach. Hey, dozo.
Care for some broth?
The first fisherman says instead of hello. He's a stocky guy, his skin thicker than Talian leather. He's got a scar that stretches from his cheek to his temple, and the top of his ear is pierced.
Broth?
Fish stew, his companion says. This one has the nose of an eagle and the body of a walrus. He's got the whiskers, too, sticking out of his cheeks and from warts hanging on for dear life from the sides of his neck. Is that your boat over there? I ask. Nestled up to the shore is, we're only giving out Last Warrior today, guys. So, because this is an exclusively Last Warrior FBTL. So, yeah. I nestled up to the shore. Nestled up to the shore is a fishing boat large enough for about 5 people. The hull is red and covered in nicks. Jutting out of the boat are a pair of fishing rods, and seated on a bench is a small tackle box. Walrus Man nods. His companion with the scar across his cheek says,
That's her all right. And I'm surprised they haven't tried to take her away from us either.
That's because they need the fish we supply, says Walrus. Scarcheek considers this for a moment.
They could just get the fish themselves.
You really are an idiot. Walrus Man shakes his head bitterly. Ever heard the saying, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day? Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime? Force a man to fish for you and you'll eat like a king? I shake my head. Can't say that I have. Walrus Man laughs, fish gut stew flying from his lips. That's because I just made it up. Look, fellas, I really don't have a lot of time here. I need to get to Stater. And you're telling us why? Walrus Man asks, returning to his soup. He shoves a big hunk of something sinewy in his maw and slurps it down. Your boat. I give them both a sincere smile. I need to get to Stater.
You told us that,
Scarcheek says.
but you didn't tell us why.
I need weapons. I'm going to drive the Tagvornins out of Tenka. Both men laugh. Walrus starts to chuckle until he's dribbling his soup out onto the front of his tunic. With what? Dirty looks? A dirty Tagvornin wolf with a bandage on his leg? Wolf growls, and both men stop immediately.
Look,
Scarcheek snorts.
If the Tagvornins don't kill everyone in Tenka, the Red Plague will.
So save yourself the trouble and have some stew.
You know about the Red Plague? I glance quickly at the sky. It amazes me sometimes how quickly information travels around the continent. Walrus spoons more soup into his mouth.
Know about it? Hell, we were along the eastern coast when it happened.
Yep, his companion agrees. Not far from the village ruins of Duckett. Heard of the place?
I bite my lip. That's not what this is about any longer, I remind myself. Any idea why people are calling it the Red Plague? I ask.
It kills anyone it touches instantly.
So it's a gas?
No,
Walrus Man says.
It's more like a gel, or a lava of some sort, but it spreads like a wall. At least that's what we heard. Who really knows? Who really knows anything? No one really knows anything if you think about it. I think the poet and jewelry smith Olivas wrote something about that.
Spreads like a wall?
Scarcheek shrugs. That's what another fisherman said. But I've never trusted that guy.
Yeah, fuck him,
Walrus Man agrees.
The miserable bastard.
Well, I'll get to the Red Plague later. First, Stater. I need to get there. Walrus Man shoots me a toothy grin.
Our services cost money.
I don't have a lot of lyra.
In that case, our services cost favors.
I raise an eyebrow at the two fishermen. What kind of favor are you talking about here?
The bandits, he says bitterly. Those fuckers are taking us for all we're worth. We catch 2 fish, they want 3. We catch 4, they want 5. You see this soup here? Surprise, surprise, it's not really fish soup. It's basically anything we can find soup, made with the water we butcher the fish in.
I chew on my lip for a moment. So, you want me to do something about these bandits? Scarcheek and Walrus exchange glances.
You take care of our little problem, and we'll take you and your big bad wolf to Stater.
How many bandits?
3.
Scarface looks to Walrus Man for confirmation.
3. Unless they have more at their camp. Never know.
Got any idea where they are? Walrus Man nods.
I have an idea. Pull up your map and the marker will be on there.
My map appears, and an icon flashes. I'd estimate the location is about 2 or 3 miles from here. The quest update appears, but I ignore it as I ask, do you have any weapons? You picture the guy from Mythbusters? Oh, the dude with the... what is that kind of hat? Beret? The guy with the beret and the handlebars? I really enjoy doing his voice. Never know with bandits. All right. How long is this action scene? What? Can't be that short. Jamie Heineman. Right. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to... Harmon, unless you have another idea, I'm just going to go through Chapter 17 and do this bandit scene. What do you think?
Who wants a mustache ride?
Oh, man. In Swedish? What? Oh, man. So, yeah. Are you good with me just doing chapter 17 here? Cooper's pigtail. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. I can't tell if you're answering me. Read it in Hiccup's voice. Read what in Hiccup's voice? Chapter 17?
A 10-inch boning knife and a hammer. Not exactly the weapons I'd like, but it sure beats simply having fists. Thanks, I tell the two fishermen.
The key to Hiccup's voice is to barely ever open your actual jaw.
Keep your teeth clenched. God, it's just so frustrated all the time.
All right. A 10-inch boning knife and a hammer. Not exactly the weapons I'd like, but it sure beats simply having fists. Thanks, I tell the two fishermen.
Sorry we don't have more weapons.
Walrus Man points his chin at Scarcheek.
He used to have a crossbow pistol for water snakes, but the bandits took that.
Got it. I bid the two farewell and hop back on Wolf, who trots along at a slow pace for a moment. Night should be here soon, I say, as he heads to the northwest. No rush. I want to get there when they least expect it. Knowing bandits, they'll be drunk and gorged on stolen fish by the time we arrive. He has so many hemorrhoids. He's talking about Hiccup. Wolf runs between a series of dunes, his tongue flapping out the side of his mouth. Wind from the Seleucid Sea scatters pebbles across the dune. I get the urge to pause for a moment and just take in the vibe. I'm feeling the best I've felt in a day, which is saying a lot considering I was nearly killed in Solidus, poisoned by a Tagvornan nurse in Tanka, and had to use what little strength I had left to butcher a pig with a rock. The story of my digital life is one wrought with circumstance, violence, and incredible irony. The plan is simple. We wait for someone to come out and take a piss, I tell Wolf, as we pass the dunes and enter again into the brush. With one bandit down, it'll leave just two more inside and make my ambush more manageable. If I'm lucky, the one that's first to drain his lizard will also have a weapon of sorts. But I'll need more than that. I think I hear a lawnmower. It's distracting the fick out of me.
It's so freaking distracting. God damn it.
Stop here, I tell Wolf. He slows to a halt, and I check the herbs in my inventory list. Burn shrub, 1. Karuna seaweed, 9. Mandrake flower, 6. Magnolia pine cones, 5. Yellow bonnet, 1. I grab all 5 magnolia pine cones, each about the size of an orange. See, this is what I need to do. Turn on the stupid fan. Dude. I grab all 5 magnolia pine cones, each about the size of an orange, and proceed to wrap them in leaves and vines of the burn shrub I picked up. I really need to collect more herbs along my way, but I'm usually so focused on getting to my next destination that the thought of sitting around to hone my herbalist skill never crosses my mind. I finish the first pine cone and examine it for a moment. It won't have explosive properties per se, but magnolia pine cones do release a terrible smoke when they're burned, and the burn shrubs will keep them burning for a solid amount of time. Check out what I made. Wolf reaches his big snout out, gives it a sniff, and looks away. A few minutes later, he's marking his territory a few feet away, and I'm finishing the last of my smoke bombs. The bandit's hut would be easy to find even without the location marked on my map. Lit by 2 torches blazing outside, it's a small building with a thatched roof situated at the bottom of a hill. Their windows are open and they speak loudly, snorting and crackling as one of them tells a story. "How many do you think there are?" I ask Wolf. I'm next to him now, both of us huddled around the trunk of a large oak tree. I scratch him under his chin and give his neck a hug. I never was one for pets, not back in Chicago anyway. Not enough space. But I really have taken a liking to having Wolf around. He's made my life much better. I see the shadow of a man moving inside the hut. He's big, and if I'm not mistaken, he's still in his armor. I focus again on their conversation, trying to judge how many men are present. I hear a low voice and 2 mid-ranged ones. The men speak of a recent trip to the whorehouses in Solidus, the vulgarity only matched by the clever ways in which they describe digital coitus. The lucre fingerbang? The lira smira? I don't even want to know what that last one is. Wolf is cuddly. I love Wolf. I crack a grin at their conversation. Having been permalogged in Unigaea for quite some time, almost a year now, I can no longer distinguish NPC conversations and interactions from their counterparts in the real world, which is either a testament to the time and effort that has gone into the Proxima Galaxy, or a testament to just how badly my mind has been warped by the place. 10 more minutes of trying to get a head count, and I'm awarded with a final voice, a high-pitched squawk that feels like someone stuck a knife in my ear. This voice continues for a moment, confirming that there are actually 4 people in the bandit's hut. The waiting game continues. Someone will need to drain the lizard, and when they do... 30 minutes pass. 40. Wolf yawns, his big tongue curling as he opens his jaw wide. "Don't get sleepy yet," I whisper to him. 50 minutes. The men start singing a song about a vampiric mermaid who did more than suck blood. I haven't heard this one before, and as I listen, the door of the hut pops open and one of the bandits step out. Go time. He sucks back snot, snorts it up, and hawks a loogie as he makes his way to the right, stopping when he meets the half-gorged body of a cow, which they've stolen and let rot, and which has attracted flies. The bandit pulls his pecker out and aims it at the cow's decomposing skull. "Go around to the other side," I whisper in Wolf's ear. Staying as low to the ground as possible, Wolf circles around the back of the hut while I slowly begin to stalk the pissing man. Boy, is it a long piss. I swear this guy could fill a keg with the amount of water he's passing. I wait for him to finish, but his proof of digital manhood put his proof of... I thought Hodor was a Pokemon. I wait for him to finish, put his proof of digital manhood back in the front of his trousers, turn away from me, and... I creep up behind him just as he's about to reach the door, jump to my feet, place my hand over his mouth, and wrap my arm across his chest. We fall backwards, and I immediately get to jabbing at his neck with the boning knife, even as the wind is knocked out of me. Minus 86 HP, minus 75 HP, minus 30 HP, minus 9 HP. I continue like this, stabbing frantically as he tries to buck me off. Meanwhile, his compadres are still mid-song, oblivious to our actions. Wolf comes around from the other side and gets into position beside the door, ready for someone to come out.
Critical hit!
I get the guy good, and he chokes on air as the life exits his body. After I bring him down slowly, I check for weapons, and find nothing, not even a piece of lint in his pockets. Fuck. I really would have liked to have a weapon other than a boning knife and a hammer. The men inside stop singing and start laughing. I glance up to the shut door. They'll be looking for him at some point, but I may be able to pick another one off. As quietly as I can, I drag the body away and return to my position near the side of the door. A red outline appears on the 3 men inside, something I wasn't granted when I was further off before. I could turn this handicap off, but it's useful for now, especially due to the fact I'm practically weaponless.
Where'd he fucking run off to?
The man with the...
Where'd he fucking run off to?
The man with the high-pitched voice calls out.
Fuck him, shouts another. He's probably out there wanking it just to see what comes out.
They crack up at this. One of them beats his fists against the table. Who's checking?
I'm checking anyway.
Here we go. The man approaches the door, and as soon as he steps out, I come in behind him with a hammer to the back of the head. Minus 76 HP. It should be way more damage than that, I think, as he spills forward and I come down on top of him. I go in for another shot and put my full force behind it. Minus 133 HP.
Critical hit!
By this point, the bandits inside are scrambling for their weapons. One gets his crossbow pistol up. His shot flies past me as I dip back into the dark space next to the door. Shit! The damned torches at the front of the hut are giving me away, something I should have seen to from the beginning. I glance left. Wolf's body is pressed to the ground, his hair slicked back and his focus on the entry point to the door.
I see him!
The man with the high voice fires another bolt out the open door. The man who's been hammered twice is in bad shape, completely sprawled out like a starfish on the ground before the doorway. My heart racing, I go as low to the ground as possible and leave the hammered man to suffer.
Excuse me.
I've been pegged with too many goddamn arrows over the last few days to want to try for another. I bring out one of the pine cone smoke bombs, light it using one of their blazing torches, narrowly miss another crossbow bolt, and roll it into the hut. Then I bring up another one and do the same. The 2 bandits left start coughing immediately as the thick smoke fills their lungs. The bandit that has been hammered starts to stir. I grab his feet, yank him towards me, and crawl on top of him, keeping as low to the ground as possible. My boning knife comes out, and I quickly slit his throat.
Insta-kill!
I roll away just as one of the bodies drops inside the hut. The other bandit bursts out, his big sword in hand, only to immediately be taken to the ground by Wolf. Wolf mauls him for a moment, gnashing sharp teeth at the man's face as he struggles to get away. I zip over, and Wolf moves just in time to let me finish the job with my boning knife. I ignore the insta-kill prompt and instead focus on the next thing that appears in my vision pane before it quickly disappears. Level up. Yes! 3 more attribute points sound about right. I feel like it's been ages since I assigned some. To think there was a time when I was shopping for jewelry to boost my skills. Juxtapose that with my current situation, weaponless and trying to gear up so I can drive the Tagvornans out of Tenka, all whilst the Red Plague slowly spreads towards the southern part of Unigaea. I guess that's life in an online dream world. All right. So, that is, I think that's the show, guys. Let me see how long we've been going. 1 hour 15. I don't know. Is that enough, guys? You think we're good? Harmon, is there anything else you want me to read? Maybe a little 10-minute spot? I'm just having fun reviewing this book. I really loved doing it. It's so fun. I mean, what really separates this one from the other 2 Harmon books is it's I think it's more concentrated. It's bleak. It's more serious. But the humor's still there. It's just more on the side, or more of a supplemental thing, whereas I think comedy really drives the feedback loop and fantasy online. Maybe even Fantasy Online less so. But this one, to me, it's got like this Conan / Mad Max vibe. And it's more focused on the plot than the other two are. The other two are more like, I don't know, more social commentary, where this is more of a character piece. Character and plot, and a little more action, a little more stats, It's a little more, oh, hello, Hardcore Holly. Ass cat. Ass pussy? What is that? What are you trying to say there? I think you just, have you been here the whole time, Hardcore Holly? Because I think you just kind of missed the whole thing. If not. It's a booty. But okay, yeah, I know that it's a booty, but what's the cat about? Like, the cat is approving of the booty? Explain yourself. Is there anybody else watching on YouTube or on Facebook? I don't see anybody. I don't think people really watch on Facebook. It's a hey saying hi. I like the booty. It's waving. Hey, you know what? That's an acceptable greeting, in my opinion. Ah, I see. Danny's watching on Facebook. It's probably the best way to do it at this point. If Twitch is too commercially, and I guess Facebook doesn't do any commercials. And since I have the Twitch thing up, the Twitch chat up on Facebook, I don't know how to manage this, guys. It's complicated. I want to be on multiple platforms. Twitch keeps fucking up. I don't know. So anyway, constantly buffering for ads. Okay. Well, maybe let's do another poll on the Sound Booth Theater Live Facebook page, to see where, like, or even just, maybe not even a poll, but some kind of discussion thread about the pros and cons of Facebook and Twitch. Because I want to know what people like better. I mean, the thing about Facebook is I just kind of don't like Facebook. I just don't like the attitude. Yeah, we need to discuss this, guys. I wanna make this a more enjoyable show, and if that means that I'm paying more attention to one platform than another, or a different I mean, I do pay more attention to Twitch than I do Facebook, just because I like the way it looks better, and I don't know. I kind of like the attitude of it better. But if it's not serving you guys, I don't want to keep messing with it. I'd rather just stream to Twitch just as another platform and stay wherever you guys prefer to watch. But anyway, yeah, we gave out what, 4 copies of Last Warrior of Unigaea? I guess we'll give Hardcore Holly a little bit of time to maybe request an audiobook here. Because I think we have just the one left. So yeah, this has been the Last Warrior of Unigaea stream. I can't wait for you guys to check it out and for us to get some reviews. And for anyone who reviews it, please give me some feedback on how you like Annie in her role. I certainly enjoyed having her on the book, but I want to know how everyone thinks that we did, blending her with me, and whether you like her performance. Lost the video and audio feed? Is anybody else frozen? Looks like L. Brian, it's just you, man. Sorry about that. we'll start a thread. So yeah, I think we have one. I think we have one book left. So it's still frozen on Twitch? What the hell, man? Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know how many have been given away. Who's keeping track? I kind of want to like stick around until the last one is gone. Yeah, but we're just giving away Last Warrior of Unigaea today. I mean, it'd be cool to give out Hero Thread, but that's not what this particular stream's about. Okay. Ian. Yes, only LW. Okay. So that's all of them, and I don't know. I'll give out one more if someone wants to request it. Yeah, it looks like one more. A number 6. I'm cheating. We got Ian, Iron Warrior, Arc Darkwind, Aram H, Truffle Guy, L Brian. There you go. We got it. All right, so that's it, guys. That's it for the stream. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I have another announcement actually, right, real quick before we go, because Wednesday, I'm doing another Sound Booth Theater Live that is targeted for my next project. I think you may know it. One second, I forgot to get the graphic for it, so I'm gonna run and grab that real quick. So this is just like a moment of suspense right here. I haven't really made a formal announcement about this, so it's cool to be able to do it here. Alright, it's almost done. It's almost done. Name that tune, guys. Alright, well, this is kind of a shit res version of it, but I think you'll know what it is. This coming Wednesday, I'll be doing a life reset Sound Booth Theater Live. Yes, we already made a deal. I'm excited to get started on this one because apparently everyone fucking loves this book. I haven't read enough of it to really have my own opinion, but I know that if your guys' opinion is that high, I'm gonna do it. It's just it's it's money. What am I gonna say? But I mean, if you guys like it so much, definitely tell people. Tell everyone that you know. All the Royal Road fans. I know that his Royal Road fans are part of a big part of the reason why his book is blown up right now. So anyone you know in that circle, make announcements on the Lit RPG forums. Like, be sneaky about it. Let people know that Wednesday I'm doing a Sound Booth Theater Live on Life Reset, and I'm actually gonna this coming week. I'm gonna be reading enough of it to know what are good scenes, and I'm gonna be finding out. I'm gonna be finding out. Yeah, 200. It's really up there in sales right now. I wish I was doing a hiccup voice for the MC, but it's 226,000 words. This is going to be like a 22 to 24 hour page book. No, 222 to 24 hour book. It's huge. It's the biggest one that I've ever done. And I am actually going to be doing Everybody Loves Large Chests. Nevin and I have already worked out a deal. I'm going to be working on that probably right after I get back from DragonCon. Yes, I am going to DragonCon, and I will be hanging out with whoever's out there. I'll be hanging out with Blaze. Apparently, him and I are going to get wasted for like the whole week. So, yes, Life Reset, guys. That's on, like Donkey Kong. And, yeah, Everybody Loves Large Chests. Soon, like probably right, like I said, right after I get back. I'm excited to do that one because we've done so many Sound Booth Theater lives of it. And I know you guys are gonna eat it up. So, yes, sirree. Lots of exciting things coming. So again, thank you guys for coming and hang out. Be ready for Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central. We'll put out an official schedule for it tomorrow, probably. DragonCon I'm gonna be leaving on August 30th and coming back on September 5th, and so it happens like during that weekend. It's in Atlanta, yes. God, I'm so excited for that. Another author of mine, N.E. Connolly, the one who I was telling you did the Witch series that Andrea's going to be taking over for, she says that there's this thing, I think it's called Night Fights. I can't remember what it's called, but she said it's basically like UFC, except it's dudes in armor and weapons. So, I can't wait for that. Apparently you have to show up an hour early to make sure you can even get in, though. It's just such a popular event. So, I mean, there's so much stuff. There's panels. I am going to do my damnedest to try and connect with Larry Kohea. I know he's huge in, not like size, I know he's huge in the Kindle market. His audiobooks are huge. And because he's worked with Bronson Pinchot, I think he would be open to someone like me. Well, I mean, because I'm kind of, my style is kind of like Bronson Pinchot. So, narrate the night fight live. Okay, Sound Booth Theater from Atlanta. I'll be streaming on the Facebook page. It's happening. It's happening. Yeah, Larry Kohea, and what's really interesting about him is he's like a really outspoken, like, right-leaning guy, so, which is like rare in this industry. So, and he just does all these crazy monster superhero type stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I listened to the first half of, what's it called, the Hard Magic. And I really enjoyed it. It's very well done as far as narration. So he might be I mean, nowadays, anyone who's like anyone who's not necessarily left is called right. So fuck it, might as well say it that way. The Monster Hunter series. I mean, those are huge, right? So, I mean, can you guys imagine him and I combining forces? Bam. Uh, oh, you've listened to Hard Magic too, Sin? Yeah, see? See? I would love to work with that guy. So, he's going to be at some panels. I want to talk to him and see if we can work something out. Anyway, Dragon Con coming up, Life Reset coming up. Remember, I'm actually going to be working this week on J.A. Cipriano's Kingdom of Heaven. I think Kingdom of Heaven is the Skull Throne Kingdom of Heaven. And he might even have the second book done in time for me to finish that before I get started on Life Reset. So both of those might be coming out at the same time. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll keep posting on Sound Blue Theater Live Facebook group. I've been rambling too long. I'm going to go. So peace out, y'all. Oh yeah, and I'm going to stare idiotically at this thing.